So, my very dear children, I have told you dear and also very dear. Have you noticed it? There is something meaning of it that I call you very dear. Because there is something. Although you are very dear relatives and friends, father, mother or children, they are also dear. But there is something, a great difference between the relation of master, relation of God, and your relations which are there in the world. This love which is there in the world, that is only created by the negative power to keep the things of this world in order. That work is going on well. As you see that when the animals or birds, they give birth to some children, then they are brought up, no doubt, very lovingly, very nicely, so much devotedly that the mother animal feels like devoting its own life at the if there is any difficulty to the child. But afterwards, when the child is grown up little and begins to live by itself, then there is no relation. That these birds or the animals, they kick them out, hit them out, very mercilessly, very, very hardly, that they feel like having no further any relation. And they are really driven out, and the life goes on just independently. There is no relation of mother or the children or in any way. And why there had been any love in the beginning and why there is no love afterwards? There is reason behind it. This is the basic principle of the life of the kingdom of evil in this world, that if there is no love to bring up the children will not come up. There is no possibility. So only for this purpose that the kids are to be brought up, and when they are just able to live by themselves, then the purpose of love is served over, and that there is no relation at all. That is the basic law of this world, which is controlled by the evil and that negative power, and it is to go on population and only to go along under the control of negative power, no love in it. But why there is some kind of loving relations with us? There is something extraordinary, that till the end of their lives, the mothers, father and brothers and sisters, especially the mother and father, has got heart. Till they do not die, leave the body, they will have to take care of their children. It is some kind of feeling in their hearts. Why it is like that? This is due to the reason that negative power has created such a kind of scroll, that these people are only kept busy in their own selves and in some family, and there will be always some problem to the children, to one child, to the other child, to the brother, to the sister, to one's own self, to the father and mother, relatives and friends, and the man or the woman will be always kept busy in some kind of love or in some kind of difficulties or problems, that they have to solve the problems of each other in this way or that way, and that they are over busy, and that is really successfully working. If you go to somebody, or I ask somebody that how much do you meditate, what is your meditation, then people just say nothing, only they just look down little and smile. It means that they have done nothing. And I ask them, then what is the reason? There's so much work. What is that work? What is that work with which you are to benefited, with which you are to be rich, with which you are to be great, with which you are to be rid of all the pains and worries and sufferings and diseases. That is not a work. Otherwise, what is the other use of the other work? This is some kind of great misunderstanding that in ego we feel like that we can earn something, we can benefit ourselves, and we can also raise our children and do something good for our children, and we can do something for our relatives and friends, and that friends, our relatives, they feel like that they can do something to us. But when there is nothing in their hands, and they go on feeling like attracting other people to them, now what is the result? That they will go on, but with no benefit, no result, no usefulness. All this world is like this, that you have got nothing with you, and that you go on putting in some pot. What is that which we are putting in that pot? Nothing. And what that pot will find? It will find also nothing. And in the end of this life, we go with only nothing. And rather we have collected only the negative karmas, and we had to suffer in health. And that's the earning, that's the help which we have given to our parents, the help which we have given to our father or mother, or help we have given to our brothers or sisters, or the help we have given to our relatives and friends, that all of us, whole of the family is in the health. Is this something which we can say, I am very much busy in some work? That is something very, very horrible, very, very hard. And this, I want to make you understand that what is the work you are to do and what is you are doing, you should also understand. And that there is no effect, very little, very little. And the reason is that you will not be able to get benefited. What does it profit a man if he gains possessions of the whole of the world but loses one's own soul? This sentence really solves your problem and gives you direction of your life. That this is the life. That you may find even the kingdom of the whole of the world, although it is not possible. We have no authority and no powers, and nobody after today could become, or let it be someone is there who finds the ruling of the whole of the world, but what it will profit that person. Generally it is told that all these kings and emperors necessarily will have to go to hells, because they are mad after their wealth and power, and they go on using their authorities and never feel like any other law is there which can control them. They do not know the laws which are there from the nature, the negative power, and also do not have any laws which are working upon them from their own kingdoms. And sometime back, I think you would have also read through the history that the kings had been told like divine rights of kings. This was also something very much in vogue, that the kings have divine rights, that they can do everything, and anything which they do, there's nobody to ask anything in this world or in the upper world after leaving the physical body. But I have not read any scriptures. It is also not told by any master. It is also not existing. Rather, it has been told that one may be king of the whole of the world over here, but when he will have to leave the body and have to go to judge, he will have to also to stand at the same terrace where other sinners are there. He will also be sinner of the sinners. And you will have to really go through all the consequences which are there to be gone through by any sinner. Then what is the use of being a king of this world when one has only to suffer? Here one is enjoying kingdom maybe for 20 or 30. I think no king had been ruling more than about 40 years. After today, and the history is there. And that after that, for millions of years, they have to suffer. This is something very hard, that something which is very true and has to happen. Why should not we know it? And why should not we manage it accordingly? And that we may not suffer. Here in this world also we do some such like things. That we know that there will be some hard consequences to it. But still, our mind doesn't feel like accepting anything. There are some people who have some addiction of drugs. They know this drug is very harmful for the health, and it is also very costly, it is also illegal, and that it will also ruin my our prestige, our honor, and my working capacity even. And that everybody knows. If you ask anybody who is having some habit of drinking or habit of some other drugs, ask them, what is the usefulness of it? Is there anything and useful, or is this harmful? The smoking is also in the same way. And nobody will be able to say that there is any benefit out of it. And all they will have to accept this is all harmful. But why they are doing it? Because it has got a tendency of the mind. That first the mind feels like having something just from friendships, from the society or something like that. They begin to start with some kind of such like addictions. And after some time, they become addicted to it, and that habit becomes nature, and then it's really hard. That mind becomes so weak in its own understanding, and in misunderstanding it becomes so strong that it mind will go on asking for it, and body will also change in such a way, because body has such like tendency to adjust according to circumstances. If you adjust the body in some way, it will take some time, but it will adjust. If you adjust the body that you are to work hard in seva for 4 hours or 5 hours, for first 2-3 days it will become very hard. You will feel very hard. But after 2-3 days, 4 days, 5 days, it will become very easy. Just normal. And if you do not work hard, you will not be feeling like easy. You will feel like working hard. So all these habits are to be created in some ways. In older days, there had been such like tendency that masters were telling something to the people that you are to change these habits. And those people were working hard upon it. I had also such like that I was also in my young age feeling like getting up at about 7, and that when I felt like that I am wasting the early morning time, which is very precious, calm and quiet and peaceful and also cool, and then why should I not use it? So first 3 months or 4 months I had to struggle hard to make my habit of getting up at about 4 early morning. But after 5-6 months, when I had made this quite my own normal nature, my habit, then it was really hard to lay down on the bed after 4. I had to get up. And there was no difficulty in getting up. It was only in the beginning when we have a habit, and when there is a change of habit, that is a little hard. And when we have changed, it becomes our lifestyle and it becomes normal. This we have not known, that a person who has some knowledge and wisdom and then feels like changing to that style of life and is able successfully to change the habits, change the lifestyle, adjustment is there now, it is all wonderfully going along. If you have got a habit of taking tea at about maybe in the afternoon at about 4, then for a month or 2 or 3 months you go on. But one day you miss, then at once you will feel that something is missing in me, exactly at that time. Now, the tea is not something necessary for you. It's not that it is your food. It's not a food, it's not a necessity of life, but it is a necessity of your habit. You have created a habit, and it will be very hard for you to now change this habit. And it will be changed, but with some efforts. And after you have changed it, changing may take place in 3 or 4 days or 10 days or 20 days even. But after that, you will not find any difficulty. It will only be difficulty when you are in the period of changing. That change is not there accomplished. So this life is a life of knowledge and wisdom, and then of adjustment. And where the will, there is a way. You will be able to accomplish everything, whatever you want. And there are ways and means. And that our mind is having such like tendency to go on putting it on some poisons. All the drugs are poisons. And that we have just to put ourselves slowly in these poisons, and these are working, and we are living. But further, we will have to go on increasing the dose. I have seen such like persons who had been addicted to some kind of drugs, and after some time, those drugs do not work upon them. Some kind of feeling they had been enjoying from those drugs, that is not available. Then they had to increase the dose, because the body had adjusted in some way, in some time, that what poison you had been given to it, and it was feeling intoxicated with it. Now, body feels it is now my food, it is my requirement, and that it will not be of any intoxication to you. And then you will have to increase the dose. And people had been going along. This is way that how we go on increasing in our own systems of life. And that we have to change according to the intelligence which is from our own soul, and which is that we are told first by the master. Because we have to go to someone who is intelligent, as we send our children to the teachers to learn some profession. And when the children have got those professions in their heart, then they themselves become teachers. Not only they know for themselves, but they also tell to others, also train others also. In the same way, as long as we are not really awakened as soul, first the parents are the teachers of the child, because the parents will do something, say something, and children will know and will do, because the children have nothing with them. They do not know anything. And what is told to the children, they will accept, and what is the parents are doing, they will copy. And therefore, that is the great training of the children, that the children are generally copy of the parents. And when they are raised up, then they pick up from here and there, But why don't they pick up from their own self? which is really pure, which is really unadulterated, and which is really hard truth. And what is there? That is from your soul. Mind has got no understanding and no feeling and no intellect. That mind is only picking up from outside. If somebody is there, very nice person, you have made that person very nice, maybe with the toils of 15 years or 20 years even. It took a long time and very hard effort to you. But let's lose that person for some days, and after a month or two, when that person will come back, will be totally spoiled. Because of what has been told to the mind, those impressions which were there collected by the mind, now those have been overcome by some other impressions. And those impressions are now working upon the mind, and mind is under the control of those impressions. And in this way, the society is there, and that impressions of the societies are there, and the mind is always changing. It's not that the mind has to select something or reject something, but mind is always receiving everything. It has no understanding and no feeling. If you sit by the side of gamblers and you say, these gamblers are very bad, very hard, very negative, you go on criticizing the gambling, but after some days you will also become gambler. Because your criticism will not work, but those impressions which you have got from the society of gamblers or thinking of gamblers, that has entered into your minds, and you will become the same. This is the criterion of the working of the mind. It has got no understanding, no feeling. Then how we can depend upon the worldly information and what we have got in the mind, and that what we think it is good or bad. What we think good or bad. Our thinking is not really of standard. It is something very hard, very negative. But is thinking that is only at the level of soul. Because there is standard. As if there is a goldsmith who has standard pure gold. Then he can compare the other gold which is adulterated, how much percentage is there of adulteration. But if he himself has got no purity and has only adulterated gold, then how he can check up which is better, which is good, or which is pure, or which is not pure. In the same way, the mind is there like this. And that we have to be very careful that if we love our children, we love ourselves, we love brothers and sisters, first awaken yourself, your own intelligence, your own purity. That soul is having from itself everything. It is not to be told. So this way of life which is there in our soul has to be now adopted. And this is the work which you can say that, as you have been saying, that I was so much busy in my work that I had no time, very little time to meditate. But what is the work? What is the definition of work? That when something you are doing useful, that you have done something. If child has played outside somewhere, whole of day, very hard. When he comes back in the home, then he feels like that he had done nothing. And his parents are also feel like very hard upon him, that you had been just struggling hard, and you have come back hungry, thirsty, and all dirty, your clothes are dirty, and you are all feeling exhausted and tired. Why didn't you enjoy your home? What you have done, what you have brought? Result is negative, not only even neutral, that as in the condition as the child left the home, did not come back in the same condition. Not in the better condition, but in the very worst condition, very lower condition. And he had been working also very hard, running very hard. That in this world also, sometimes the people say that hard labor has a good, sweet fruit, but not always. If you work on something negative, you will find hardness. And all we people, I am sorry to say, are working in the negative direction, way of destruction. And when we are working very hard, day and night, on this way of destruction, it will only bring us all destruction. And we will have to suffer. That is why it is not called doing, making. That is why it is called only God. Everything was made by Him. There was nothing made that was not made by Him. You will say that we are also making something, we are also doing something. You are unmaking. You are demolishing what was given to us by God, that we are destroying it. Just you consider your own situation. That when the child is born in this world, what is the condition of the child? Child has got body, child has got parents, child has got some home, child has got some property also which is belong to the parents, that is also belong to the child. No doubt that is there. But child also comes with God, with the kingdom of God, with all the angels, 330 million angels, and all this microcosm, all this macrocosm, all what is visible, material, or what is invisible, the subtle existence of the creation of God, everything was brought by the child. So great, so wonderful. I have told also about the material existence. I have not neglected it. But if you compare the godly gifts which are there inside us to the outer is nothing. Because outer is very little and also for some time. Inside is so much, billion times, trillion times more than inner one and much more valuable. And that if you find a big mountain, what you will find from it? Nothing. But if you find some gold, that is just something. It's no doubt very small in quantity. But quality is very wonderful and very much valuable. This world is made of dust. Other higher worlds are made of the material of God. More and more proportion of godly material is added into it, and that is why it is becoming more and more valuable. As we also feel that when a person is dead, what is the value of dead person? That is only to be disposed of somewhere, not to be available anymore. We cannot bear that dead body even for some hours to be kept along with us or in our home. It may be the body of our very dear relative or friend, or our brother, sister, our own child, husband or wife, or parents, or maybe of a king or emperor. But it was only valuable, only good looking, only useful when there was soul in it. And when soul has left it, then it is dust thou art. It appears like that. We also see that person whom we had loved very much, really, we were hugging and kissing also that person. And we could not feel like living without that person. Then when the soul goes out of that body, we can look at the face of that person. There's something we are scared of. There was something in it which has gone away. And now it is, we begin to also say, it is dust. And that time we say about that body, dust thou art. and you had been returned to dust, and we will put you in the dust. That is the net value of our physical body. And what we are now, if we are having some goodness, if we are having some talents, and if we are good looking, and we have something to do, what is that? That is only due to the soul which is in us. So what is the value we have got? That is the value of the soul. What is the doer power? That is of the soul. What is our virtues? That is only of the soul. That anything, a good attribute which is there, that comes to the share of the soul. But if they are suffering the problems and worries and disease, these are also there. But these are not from soul. This is only from the setup of the mind. So setup of the mind is something hard. And setup of the body is dust thou art, and to dust returneth. Then if out of these three connections we are to select anything that is really, what is really valuable. And what is that which is really useful, which is really valuable, and will be with us and forever. So when the child comes in this world, is fully equipped with everything what is necessary in this world to live upon with the physical body, and also to enjoy as soul and to live as soul in the kingdom of God with God. The two lives are given to the human being. That this life which is from the world in physical body, mind and intellect, we had been continuing since ages and ages in different kinds of species of life. But this great vicious portion of our life, full of hardness, suffering, thank God that is now to end, and that we are now to enjoy. But there's again difficulty we have created for ourselves. That in New York there are about 100-story buildings, I think maybe more than 100. And there were 2-3 friends who had taken the story, 100th story, to own what you call rent. And then they had to go up, but the lift was failing. Lift was not working. And now it was very hard for them how to step one by one 100 stories. And they may reach their residence and then they take rest. Then they told to each other, let us have some kind of story. And that we may go on getting a little our attention diverted towards some kind of very interesting stories, and that we may not feel so much hard climbing up. So one after the other, the friends went on telling some kind of very much interesting. And what is interesting stories? It may be very hard, exceptionally hard, or exceptionally something good. Ordinary things we cannot really get interested. So these stories went on, and till there was 99 story they had gone through, and they were just to go to one story more, and the last friend was there. He was also then asked that now this is the end of our journey, hard journey, and it's only one story left. You please start your story. He told, my dear, wait a little, let us go a little higher up. Little more. And when they reached the door of their story, they told, my dear, the keys are left behind. This is my story. This is our case. And that we have also lost our keys of the kingdom of God. Although millions of years we have traveled and traveled and traveled and traveled, hard and hard, hard and hard, on foot, on physical body, on foot. And that in the end, when we are reached the door of the kingdom of God, which is now here, in this body, then we are looking back, because we don't find anything forward, in front. And that if something is told to us, that we should have and find it and enjoy it. Because we have traveled very long, very hard for this purpose. And for the purpose for which we have suffered so hard. Now if it is found, it should be accepted. It should be accepted. It must be accepted. But my dear, I cannot blame you. I don't blame you. But I have to blame, no doubt, 99% negative power who had played such a trick upon you, hypnotized you, mesmerized you, and have taken all that knowledge and wisdom which was there of your past lives, that you are to know nothing. However, when you leave the physical body, then negative power will tell you everything. You will have all knowledge. Because all this knowledge which we had gone through with the setup of negativity is in the mind, because mind is the topmost power to work in the negative power system. That mind is always with us. In any life we had been, anywhere, these three sets were there. Physical body was not changing. Intellect was also changing. But mind remains the same in this system. And mind will also even go with us up to the second region, up to the Brahman, causal plane. Because all the causes of our actions in any life are there, and memories are also there, and that mind will keep it until we do not rise higher up above the control of the negative power and control of the mind. We are very much hardly, strongly controlled by the mental setup which is working for negative power as its representative. Very strong, very hard, very horrible. And that when we are taken up by the master, then he kills the mind, and that all our records are burnt away, and master takes away from the clutches of the mind and matter, and awakens our soul to be free in kingdom of God, with God, in its own family. And that is the great life. In him was the life. This is very truly told. In him was the life, and life was the light of the man. Now you are to live. You can live. You are authorized to live. Now life has been given to you. Have it. Enjoy it. And don't look back. All that which had been cause of suffering and is also cause of suffering, all these worldly arrangements, all this body, all this mind, all this intellect, and all what is in this world that cannot, it could not help us. It had always only a source of problems and worries and sufferings for us. At least now we should understand it. But still I will say that even if there is still some difficulty and some kind of hurdle created by the negative power, that it doesn't let you proceed further. It still gives you some kind of backside incentives. There is something in this world. There is something in this world. Enjoy this, enjoy that. But you should know that something has also been given by the master to me to enjoy. And you go on with this enjoyment for 3 hours or 4 hours, or more or less. Then you will find that the mind which had been very much slave to these giving or some kind of temporary or just eluding and diluting incentives from the negative power, is now feeling that there is something ray of light, there is something peace, there is something sweetness, there is something real love also. There is something which I can enjoy. There is some hope that I will not suffer, I will not have any difficulty or problems, and that there is hope that I will be able to enjoy. There is something which is called enjoyment, this is called love, this is called peace, this is called life. This is something else. It's very wonderful, very strange, and nothing of it, even an image of it, is not here in this world, which was only pretending to me that it was something, but it is nothing. It is only some kind of images. As you sit in front of the TV, you find wonderful things. But when you get up, only you will get headache only. You will not have anything else than headache. And those impressions which have gone into your mind will go on troubling you. That you have not only temporary headache of your body, but also very permanent headache in your mind and in your life also. And that we are out of this very, very hard illusion or delusion or cheating or deceiving sphere or way of living, and now we are entering into something very real, which is called real, which is definite, which is wonderful, it's the highest and the best, and forever, for eternity, never to change. Even no change is there, and there is no possibility of change, that you are not to be afraid of it. If there is a rich man in this world, will not remain rich without further efforts. One will have to keep efforts more and more, day and night, to keep that status. Just for some time he may relax, will begin to go down. It is very hard to go up or to maintain yourself up. But it is very easy to go down. Just relax and you will fall down. It is very easy to go down. In this world, this is like this, because there is some kind of centripetal force which is working in this world from the center of the world, that everything is attracted towards the center of this world. And nobody has the power to resist it. You will have to struggle very hard to keep yourself standing, at least, or working. Otherwise, if you just a little leave your efforts, you will at once fall down. But there is certain power which is uplifting power, which you have not exact any power. You will automatically go up. You are just relax only. What is the meditation? You are going to relax. That with what you are already attached, and it is pulling you down. Get yourself disconnected by thought, mentally. And when you are disconnected from it, then you are free, then automatically that power which is there connected to you in the form of light and sound which come from above. It has tendency to lift you up and to take you out from the very, very horrible, deep ocean of sufferings, and full of all very, very dangerous animals or dangerous some living things like crocodiles, etc., that you are always in danger, and that you are to be saved from this, and you will go up and up automatically. You are not put in any efforts. Effortless efforts, which we can call sometimes. By Master also used to explain this phenomenon of meditation, that no doubt we are to put in some kind of efforts to become effortless. That if you are already running, your car is running, you have to put the brakes. You are putting some efforts to be peaceful. That it stands, you are somewhere standing, and you are not now in danger of traveling. When you are in traveling, you are always to be very careful. But when you are at rest, you can rest. So this great travel which was toward the very, very horrible lifestyle, very horrible destructive style, now it is to finished. And for that we will have to put brakes upon the mind, mental inclinations, mental interests, and that we have to stop further the downward connections, and we have to develop our connection upward. And upward connection will manage to disconnect you from your lower connection. And it goes on working. At the beginning of your meditation, you will find that your mind is really very hard. And sometimes it is successful, or more often it is successful in withdrawing your attention from light or sound, and again you are thinking of the worldly things, or at last you go to sleep. That is also something that you have been disconnected from the uplifting agency, and you are still going down. But after maybe half an hour or 20 minutes or a little more time, you will feel again lifted up. Because this thought which is there in you from the soul, it is still working. As subconscious mind also in this world goes on working. You would have found that if you go to sleep and you feel like I will get up at 4 o'clock, then you are not knowing anything about yourself with your conscious mind. But your subconscious mind is always conscious. And when there will be 4 o'clock, you will be awakened. You may accept it or may not accept it. You may again close your eyes, again go to sleep. Otherwise, subconscious mind will work. And it had been working whole the night. It was conscious. In the same way, in much better and much more successful way, the soul is going along. First, once you have connected it toward light and sound, or even not connected but directed it towards it, it is taken up by the master. And master has started working upon it, and the soul is also feeling like working upon the help of the master, and mind also is going on. These two, both agencies are struggling with each other. But the mind goes on getting weaker and weaker, and less powerful to control your upliftment. And that after half an hour or maybe a little more or less time, you feel like again coming back. If from scattered thoughts or from the sleep, and you feel like much better connected, much easily connected, and further then can meditate much better. And that is also the effect of the special retreats. That in the retreats a special overhaul is given to the machinery. That if our mind is getting only 2 hours or 3 hours of meditations, and other hours it is filled with the negative impressions, and our meditations is not really working properly, then work about 20 days or 30 days or little more or less, that you are at such place that where there is no world and no worldly impressions, and there you can just 24 hours go along in positive impression. There is such like arrangement that when you are really meditating, you are meditating. It is okay. And that maybe 10 hours, 8 hours or 12 hours you are meditating. And when you are meditating 8 hours or 10 hours, 12 hours, and at a stretch you can meditate about 3 or 4 hours also easily, then what is the wastage of time which you had to put in for any start of meditation for half an hour or 1 hour? That is gone. Because it is only 1 hour and you had meditated 4 hours or 5 hours, and that other hours are really at your credit. But when you are meditating daily for about half an hour or 1 hour or little more, then most of the time is just wasted, we can say, or used up in only preparation. Until you are prepared, you are tired, or some other work is there, some other business is there, and you are again getting up. Then what is use of getting prepared and not to go to the job, not to work for which we have got prepared? This is the main use of the retreats at such like places as has been established over here. And this is purposeful that I have established this Manukendra and feel like also establishing more Manukendras even, because perhaps it may be too much long distance for some people, and it can be used maybe once a year, something like that. But your own cities or your own regions may have also some kind of such like places. And that all the day just you may go on working, and that in the night you go to that place which is some kind of ashram or some kind of a retreat place, and that is in your city or that is in your street, in your own vicinity, on which you can go on bicycle or you can go on foot, and easily accessible, and that you use it also daily, and there is a charged atmosphere, because the people go there only for the purpose of meditations. And that place goes on being charged with the positive power of God, and anybody who goes over there will be at once affected by that charging and will begin to feel like meditating. This is an atmosphere like this. That his child is with the mother, at once he will become, he will come into the lap of the mother and will feel like having the love of the mother and blessings of the mothers, and feel like enjoying the lap of the mother. But when the child goes out in naughty children, then he will feel like to be much more naughty than the others. There's a comparison, there's some kind of competition of naughtiness between the naughty children. And the atmosphere will at once change, and due to that change of atmosphere, the lifestyle or working way of the mind will at once change. And the child will, when come back, will be very dirty, very horrible, very negative, and very hard to control. There are so many people who are aggressive and who have got very much anger or some negativities, stealing, grabbing, holding, robbing, quarreling with others. All this is what we have got from the negative society of the mind, from the negative world. But if we spend more time for meditation, and when we go to some such like places, there we are really charged. So gradually things are coming up and will come up. In India it is like that in some parts of India, almost, or at least in some villages, there are almost more than 50% initiates, or a whole of the village is initiated, and they have got their own ashrams, independent in their own villages. I don't know them even, how many ashrams are there, how they are maintaining, how they are working, but they know, because all these instructions which they find from the master, they understand and they go along, and it's going on wonderfully. And such a retreats as you are having here, this place which is called Man-Making Center, Manukendra, has been established for this purpose, that the people sometimes go for excursions to some places. What is use of that? There should be some use of it. What is use? They say that I have some kind of variety. Here I am working day and night, and I'm boring of it. I don't feel like, when I go outside somewhere else, there's some change, there's some variety, and that there I get some little better. That mind is having this tendency not to be adjusted at the same place, never to be feeling comfortable at the same comfortable place. And if it may have to go to some disturbed place, there it will feel better. Because it needs some varieties and changes. It may not be good, it may not be useful, but there should be some changes. And I find most of the places where the people go, leave their homes, where is the homely comfort? Where there's all homely atmosphere. And that is only in the home. When they go outside, they will not find. It is only some kind of change where they have to go traveling expenses and living expenses, and also have to go to some place where it is strange and made to be more negative. But mind compels them that they have to enjoy it. So let it be that this mind is also to be satisfied, and that this place has been made in such a way that is no doubt you can have your life over here changed one from your family, from your general business or general some kind of working, and you can enjoy some vacation over here. But the best thing is there that your body and mind has also got something different. It is all nature, it is all greenery, because our life is not in lifeless. Our life is in life. And where there is more life, there we will find better. That if you are just in the woods, what you will find? You go through the woods and you find very much filled, very much energized, and very much good in health. Because there is something which has been given to you by the nature. Let it be that you pass through a rose plant flower. Rose plant, it has got rose flowers. Once it may be, you may not see that flower plant or flowers, but smell will go into your nose and you feel very happy, very nice. That something has been given to you by the nature, by the flowers. And if you go to some other plants, every plant has its own nature, its own characteristic, and it's radiating. What kind of radiations? Living radiation, because everything is life. That there's nothing which you will find dead like earth. Maybe you may be walking on the earth, but all around there is life. And that will add to your life, and so many diseases will be cured. In India also there had been such like places in the past, not now, that there were some diseases which were cured at some places which were planted with special kind of plants. And without the use of any meditation, they were sent to those places, and those people were cured due to the irregular flow of medicine from the plants and trees which were useful for such like disease, to eradicate them. As is it there. But if you sit near the stones or in house made of stones, what will they make you? They will make you lifeless. They have got no life. What they can give you? If there are stones, what they will be able to give you? What they will radiate? Nothingness, lifelessness. And that you will not be happy. You will not find anything for your soul, for your mind, and also for your intellect. But it will be something hard and burdening. That if you go to cinema, if you go to some TV, sit before it, you will only look something, but you will not find anything. But if you go to some nature, it will give you something. If some fruit is there, sometimes some wild fruits are also there, that you can also enjoy. But if there is no fruit, there is nature. It is living, and it is having affection also for you. It will love you, and you will feel loved, and you will feel good. And that you will come back very happy and very much energized. So this is way of life which is there in given plenty, and this is provided over here. So my dear, in this Manukenda, let it be, there may be some kind of change of your lifestyle, but let it be a change of your life. That you are really changing to nature, to use no TV, no other artificial things, and try to live in nature. I don't debar you because it is impossible to give you any certain instructions. But try to live in nature. Nature will make you beautiful. It will really make you beautiful. If you do something just artificial, you will be dependent upon that. So my dear, this Manukenda you have to make. These managements are not there to give you any kind of direction that you are to change your lives. They will try as best as possible to satisfy your needs, what you want, hot water, or good clothing, or good accommodation, or good food, or even some kind of pancakes, or ice cream, or Coca-Cola not. I will not allow. There are some things which your mind will like. That may also be provided. But it is now your duty to tell them, no, I don't like this. I have come here for some purpose. I have already spoiled my mind very much. I have to now educate my mind. And if I cannot educate my mind here, where should I go? That my mind may be trained to some little better habits. And then the management over here will be very much pleased with you, and will really cooperate with you, and will really be able to help you, and will give you all schedules of seva, and all schedule of meditation, and all schedule of taking food, your lunch, breakfast or dinner, and good schedule of your sleeping, small time, little time, that you do not waste. But because when we are living, we should live. Why should we die for some time? Don't you understand? Why should we die for some time if you don't like to die? Do you like to die? When you are sleeping, what is there? No life is there. Your body is like dead body. That is a death system. That you should not like. That is not your lifestyle. You are to be awake, you are to be living always, all 24 hours, 100%. And that life has been given to you, but that has not been attained by you at the level of soul which is there. At the level of soul it is there. Soul never sleeps. It is always conscious. But we have not started this life of the soul. So this is my sincere request to all of you, that you are now to understand life. Outer life you are to change, inner life you are to find, and then inner life will help you to enjoy the outer life in a real way, proper way, and this Manukenda and other places also which may be established by you in your own areas. It may take some time, not so easy, because in these countries it's very hard to make anything. So my dear, this is my sincere request. I have been requesting you since some days, and that you have been attending to this, and I am feeling that you are also going along, accepting and changing also, that you are meditating, and also you are doing nice good seva with Simran, and the seva is also very necessary, because what you are doing it is for yourself. That what you grow over here, who will eat? My family. Who is coming over here? My family, my children, who are initiates. It may be you, it may be your brother, it may be your sister, it may be your any other one. Or it may be at least your family of your master. And that is also your own self. That what you grow over here, that you grow for your own family, and you help yourself. Others will work for you and you will work for others. In this way we serve each other in love. That is the law which is going on over here, and you can enjoy and you can be benefited out of it, and then grow in this great life which is there, given to you by God, and also enjoy the outer life. So my dear, now you may prepare yourself for meditations.